Hello, English learners, and welcome. I'm your host, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Excited to chat about English learning today.
Have you ever been like mid-sentence in English and suddenly your brain just hits a brick wall?
Oh, yeah.
You're scrambling for that one word, or maybe you're stuck translating this whole idea from your own language, hoping it works.
That pause. It's so frustrating for learners.
It really is. And it can seriously knock your confidence down. But what if there was a way past that? Like specific insights to get you speaking more smoothly.
There absolutely are.
So today, that's our deep dive. We want to give you practical tips, some brain training stuff even, to cut down those pauses, help you think quicker, and just sound more confident, more natural. Okay, let's unpack this.
It's a feeling so many people learning English recognize, right? That wish for the words to just flow.
Yeah, effortlessly.
And it feels like a huge mountain to climb, but honestly, it's achievable. We see learners get there all the time. It's about understanding why it happens first.
Right. So, okay, before we get to the fixes, let's talk about the why. Why do we pause like that? It's not just forgetting words, is it?
No, it's usually more complex than that. What's fascinating here is how our psychology, our thinking, gets tangled up with speaking. The first, and honestly often the biggest reason, is just a basic lack of confidence.
Okay.
When you're worried about messing up, second-guessing everything, it actually slows down the part of your brain that finds words quickly.
So it's like performance anxiety for speaking.
Kind of, yeah. It's like your brain's dictionary is temporarily locked because you're running this constant arrow check in the background.
Wow, a locked dictionary. That paints a picture. So it's not just feeling shy, it's a real cognitive slowdown.
Exactly. And tied into that is the second reason, vocabulary gaps. Or maybe accessing the vocabulary you need.
Right, not having the word on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, or maybe not knowing the exact right word or phrase for that specific situation. You know how words hang together, collocations.
Like heavy rain, not strong rain.
Precisely. If you don't have those chunks readily available, your brain stops to search. And that search creates that awkward, broken rhythm. It shows why learning phrases, not just single words, is so important.
That makes total sense. We think of vocab as lists, but it's more like building blocks. Okay, and then there's the big one, overthinking and translating.
Ah, the mental translator, yes. It's a major fluency killer.
Why is it so bad?
Because your brain is doing double duty. First, you build the sentence in your language, then you try to map it onto English grammar and structure, which are often totally different.
So it's just inherently slow.
Inherently slow, and often leads to unnatural phrasing, and we get stuck aiming for this perfect textbook sentence. But fluency isn't really about perfection, is it? It's about flow.
Flow, like a river, not a statue.
Exactly. Think flowing river, not perfect sculpture. That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so confidence, vocab gaps, translating. What's the last main reason for pausing? Sometimes it just happens under pressure, right?
Absolutely. Nerves and pressure, that can trigger a kind of freeze response.
Like stage fright.
Yeah, similar mechanism. It can actually reduce your brain's ability to access things you know you know. You might know a word perfectly well when you're relaxed, but in a conversation with a native speaker, maybe, poof, it vanishes.
Your brain just isn't firing on all cylinders.
Pretty much. So yeah, it's usually a mix of these things. Confidence dips, vocabulary holes, the translation trap, and just plain nerves.
It's definitely not just one simple thing. Okay, so now we understand the why. Let's pivot. This is the exciting part. How do we actually fix it? How do we reduce those pauses? Here's where it gets really interesting.
Right, practical solutions.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the biggest game changers is actively training yourself to think in English.
Instead of translating.
Exactly. Bypass that whole translation step. When you translate, like we said, you're adding cognitive load, an extra step. Try to form the thoughts directly in English.
I imagine that feels weird at first, like you have to rewire your brain.
It does take practice, no doubt, but it's incredibly effective. Start small. Like, just narrate your surroundings in your head, or quietly.
Oh, like the sun is shining, I see a dog running. Simple stuff.
Exactly. My coffee is hot. Just little things. It builds that direct pathway from thought to English. Cutting out the middleman makes a huge difference over time.
Okay, thinking in English, what else?
Using filler words strategically. Now, some people think fillers are bad.
Like and
Yeah. Or, well, actually, so, I mean, but here's the thing. Native speakers use them all the time.
That's true, they do.
They're not just noise. They're like little bridges. They give your brain a split second to catch up, to find the next thought, without leaving this awkward silence hanging there.
So it keeps the conversation flowing.
Exactly. Instead of just stopping dead, you might say, well, I think that's a good point. Or, I actually saw that movie too. It smooths things out.
So it's reframing fillers
Yeah.
from a weakness to a useful tool. I like that. What's technique number 3?
Shadowing. This one's really active.
Shadowing. How does that work?
You listen to a native speaker, maybe a podcast, audiobook, YouTube, and you repeat what they say immediately after them, like an echo.
Oh, wow. So you're forced to speak quickly.
Quickly, smoothly. And this is key. You start to mimic their rhythm, their intonation, the stress patterns, the music of the language.
Getting the prosody right. Not just the words. That sounds powerful for sounding natural.
It really is. And the last technique is more of a mindset shift, but it's crucial. Stop aiming for perfection.
Easier said than done sometimes?
True. But honestly, the fear of making mistakes causes so much hesitation. Remember, mistakes are just part of learning. Native speakers make them too.
So if you forget a word,
Don't just stop and panic. Try explaining it another way. Instead of refrigerator, you could say, the machine that keeps food cold.
yeah,
People won't understand. Communication is the goal, not perfect grammar every single time.
right. Getting the message across. Okay, let's quickly recap those. Think directly in English. Use fillers strategically as bridges. Practice shadowing to nail the rhythm. And let go of perfectionism. Focus on communication.
You got it. Those are big steps towards reducing the pauses themselves.
So now,
Mm-mm.
how do we actually train our brains to work faster,
Yeah?
to think and respond more quickly in English?
Yeah, that's the next level, isn't it? It's about making your brain more agile in English.
What's the foundation for that?
Expanding your vocabulary, but specifically learning phrases and sentence patterns, not just single words. Lexical chunks, remember?
Those pre-built blocks.
Exactly. When you learn things like, in my opinion, or on the other hand, or I was wondering if, as single units, your brain doesn't have to build them from scratch every time.
They become automatic, like muscle memory for language.
Precisely. It massively reduces the cognitive load, so focus on learning useful phrases.
Okay, learn phrases. What else helps speed things up?
Active listening, and I mean really listening, not just letting the sound wash over you.
How is active listening different?
You're paying close attention to how people structure sentences, the words they choose, how ideas connect, and here's a trick. Try to predict what the speaker will say next.
Ooh, predicting. That sounds like a workout for the brain, keeping it one step ahead.
It is. It trains your brain to process English faster and anticipate conversational flow. And you can make this a specific exercise.
How so?
Call it conversation anticipation. When you're listening, podcast, TV show, whatever way, pause it occasionally and actively guess the next word or phrase. Even if you're wrong, the act of trying trains that forward-thinking skill.
That's clever, a practical way to build that predictive muscle. What's the next brain training method?
Imitating native speakers. This goes a bit beyond shadowing.
How is it different?
Find a speaker you like their accent, their speed, their energy, maybe someone on a show or podcast you listen to regularly, and consciously try to copy their style.
So not just repeating words, but mimicking their whole delivery.
Yeah, their speed, their rhythm, their intonation. It helps internalize the flow and forces your brain to process and produce English at a more native-like pace. It's like trying on their speaking style.
Okay, so training the brain involves learning phrases as chunks, active listening with prediction, practicing conversation anticipation, and imitating the delivery of native speakers. That feels like a solid plan.
It definitely gets your brain working differently.
Now, armed with those brain strategies, let's get really practical. What are some specific exercises people can do regularly to build that fluency and speed?
Right, time for the homework. Okay, first up, a classic. The 1-minute speaking challenge.
Sounds intense.
It can be, but it's super effective. Pick a simple topic, your day, your hobbies, a recent movie, anything. Set a timer for 1 minute and just talk about it. Nonstop.
Nonstop. Even if you make mistakes.
Especially if you make mistakes. The goal is to keep going, push through the hesitation. Don't pause to correct yourself or search for the perfect word. Just keep the words flowing for that full minute.
Builds endurance, I guess. Pushes you past that freezing point. And you can start smaller.
Absolutely. Start with 30 seconds. If a minute feels too much, then work your way up. The
Yeah.
key is continuous output.
Okay, 1-minute challenge. What's next?
Story retelling. This one's great. Listen to something short, a news report, a podcast segment, maybe even a short YouTube clip or a scene from a show.
Okay.
Then turn it off and retell the story or the main points in your own words.
So you have to process it, then reproduce it, test comprehension and fluency.
Exactly. It forces you to recall vocabulary and structure information actively in English. Really good practice.
Cool. What about something faster paced?
Speed conversation practice. Grab a friend, or honestly, even just talk to yourself in the mirror. Set a timer, say 2 minutes,
Right.
and just have a really fast conversation. Back and forth, quick questions, quick answers. The goal is speed. Don't overthink. Don't worry about being perfect. Just respond quickly.
Simulates that rapid fire feel of some real conversations. Builds reflexes.
Precisely. Reduces the time you allow yourself to hesitate. And one more, using tech.
Yeah.
Use speech-to-text apps. Your phone probably has one built in.
Like the voice note transcription.
Exactly. Speak into it, maybe read something aloud, or just talk about your day and see how accurately it transcribes you.
Oh, that's clever. Instant feedback.
Yeah, it's great for checking clarity, pronunciation, even rhythm. If the app keeps misunderstanding a certain word or phrase, that's useful information for you.
Okay, let's list those exercises. 1-minute speaking challenge for endurance. Story retelling for comprehension and production. Speed conversation for reflexes. And speech to text for feedback. That's a solid toolkit.
Definitely practical things you can do today.
Now, we've talked techniques, brain training, exercises, but I feel like there's one more piece. Mindset. If you don't believe you can do it, or if you're too scared.
You're absolutely right. Mindset is huge. It underpins everything else. This raises an important question. How do we shift that internal dialogue?
Yeah, how?
Well, first, we need to fundamentally change how we view mistakes. They are not failures. They are data. Yeah, every mistake you make gives your brain information about how English works or how it doesn't work. It's necessary feedback for learning. Think of it like course correction.
So stop beating yourself up about them.
Please. Even native speakers make slips all the time. Instead of, oh no, I messed up, try thinking, okay, noted, that didn't quite work, let's adjust. Embrace them as part of the process.
Okay, embrace mistakes as data. That's powerful. What's the next mindset shift?
Focus on communication, not perfection. Ask yourself, was my message understood? Did the other person get what I was trying to say?
If yes, then success.
Basically, yes. That's the primary goal of language, right? Connection and understanding. Aiming for flawless textbook grammar in every single sentence is unrealistic and stressful. Focus on getting your point across clearly.
Take the pressure off.
Yeah.
Communication over perfection. Love it. And the last mindset piece.
Speak with confidence and energy, even if you don't feel 100% confident inside.
Fake it till you make it.
To an extent, yes. Your body language, your tone of voice, your energy level, they massively influence how people perceive you and your message. If you sound hesitant and unsure, people might focus on the pauses or small errors.
But if you project confidence,
If you speak clearly, make eye contact, use open body language, people are much more likely to focus on what you're saying, not tiny imperfections in how you're saying it. Confidence is compelling.
so the mindset shifts are: view mistakes as helpful data, prioritize getting your message across over being perfect, and project confidence through your energy and delivery.
That really ties everything together.
It really does. It creates a much more positive internal environment for learning and speaking.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground today. Let's try and quickly pull all these threads together for everyone listening. What does this all mean for your deep dive into fluency?
Well, we started by really digging into the why behind those pauses, didn't we? Things like lack of confidence holding you back, those frustrating vocabulary gaps, the mental gymnastics of translating everything, and just plain old nerves freezing you up.
Exactly. But then we move straight into the how. Practical techniques like consciously thinking in English, not just translating.
Using those filler words like well or, as bridges.
Practicing shadowing to get the rhythm and flow right. And crucially, letting go of that need for perfection.
And then we tackled brain training, how to actually make your brain faster and more agile in English.
Right. Learning vocabulary in useful chunks and phrases, not just isolated words.
Really listening actively, trying to predict what's coming next.
Turning that into an exercise with conversation anticipation and actively imitating the delivery style of native speakers you admire.
And we didn't forget the hands-on practice. Those exercises are key.
Definitely. The 1-minute speaking challenge to build that stamina.
Story retelling to work on fluency and recall.
Speed conversation practice for quick thinking, and using speech-to-text apps for that instant feedback.
And wrapping it all up, those crucial mindset shifts.
So important. Accepting mistakes as learning opportunities, not failures.
Focusing on successful communication is the main goal.
And projecting confidence and energy, even when you're still building it, it's really a whole package.
It absolutely is. It shows fluency is so much more than just grammar rules, right? It's psychology, practice, strategy.
It's the whole picture: cognitive, psychological, practical.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. What if the real perfection isn't about flawless speech or having no accent at all? What if it's actually about embracing the flow, finding the joy, and just connecting with people, and knowing that every single word you speak, pause or no pause,
Mhm.
is a step forward in your own deep dive into fluency?
That's a great way to think about it.
We really hope these ideas and strategies help you feel more empowered and confident on your English speaking journey. Give them a try.